January 20th, 1988. This is a view of what is called, some people, Tent City. It's kind of the general hangout for Subud World Congress. The building behind it is called St. John's College, and over on the other side is another college called Sancto Sophia. Take a walk up and see what's up there. Okay, Tent City has food, has little shopping area places. This is the general kitchen. Looks good. What kind of food is that?
Eventually going to be a carrot.
Smells good.
Where did she say that? I don't know where she did. She say that?
Smells good.
Tastes good.
Who are you?
I'm Hamida from South Africa.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
How come you got involved in the cooking here?
My mom, wherever she goes, she cooks. So I help.
Smells great.
Is it a video?
Yeah?
Oh, who are you?
I'm Rockman Cantrell. I'm from Seattle, Washington.
Washington.
Yeah, USA.
Oh, do we get to see it?
Maybe, if there's some place to show it. See you later.
See you. Oh, it's fine. Hello. G'day.
And what did you say?
I said g'day.
G'day? What does that mean?
That's Australian. It's just a good day.
Australian for good day?
Yeah.
Are you from Australia?
Yeah. Yes, we're both Australian.
I'm Australia.
She's Australian.
You're Australian too?
Yes. Are you Australia?
No, I'm from USA.
No wonder you don't know. I thought even the Americans knew what g'day meant. I thought they knew.
Haven't you seen Crocodile Dundee?
No, I didn't see that. What is
you
that?
should see it. It's a movie all about Outback Australia.
No, it's a comedy about how ignorant us Australians are.
Yeah.
Was it true?
No.
No, it's just a fantasy story. Love
It's
story.
Paul Hogan. You know Paul Hogan?
Who's that?
Paul Hogan, you don't know who Paul Hogan is.
He does most of the ads
He's,
for tourism of Australia.
He plays this really stereotype Australian from the outback
Huh.
called Crocodile Dundee, and he comes to America and he doesn't know
What is what? Like, he's never seen
this is 'cause
toilets and tall buildings.
or bidets.
Yeah.
Or what? What is that?
What's that?
You don't worry.
But yeah, it's just all about. It just makes Australians look really silly. But you know, just like we're all from the outback.
But it's really funny.
It's a funny movie. Yeah.
Okay.
Very
Well,
funny.
thank you for your information. Tell me who you are.
Oh no.
Miriam.
I'll tell you what. This is Ella.
I'm Ella Smith from New South Wales,
Okay.
Australia.
Ella Smith, and what's your name?
And I'm an upcoming actress, Samira Tillaghan, and you'll see me on a movie later soon. Coming to your movie place.
And you're
soon.
from New South Wales too?
How did you guess?
Yes, but
We're not all like us.
where are you from? Where are you from?
Where are you
Your
from?
name and where you're from.
and chips. So now from
Australia? Dapto in New South Wales.
Town.
Yes, Dapto. Yeah.
So you're someplace in Australia, right? Okay, that's good enough. That's close enough.
And my name is
Yeah.
Liza.
Liza.
Liza? What's your last name, Liza?
I haven't got my last name, but I got a nickname,
Yeah?
What's that?
Lizzie.
Lizzie?
And is your surname Jenkins?
Jenkins, I think.
Yeah.
Lizzie Jenkins.
Lizzie Jenkins.
Okay. Nice to meet you.
G'day. Have a
Good day.
Have a nice day in Australia.
G'day.
Yeah.
Here's some typical Congress people sitting at a table having a heated discussion about something.
We're talking about the urgency parents have for their kids to be open.
Well, mine is one that's supposed to be opened this evening, so
All right.
it feels pretty urgent to me too. So who are you?
Mahmoud Fedorovich, UK.
He's the chairman of the International Youth
Chairman of what?
International Youth Association.
That's right.
So what is that?
Subud Youth Association. It's I don't know. I don't know. I'm hoping to find out by the end of this Congress.
And
He's done a lot of work.
who are you-
France, Sanchez, with a Spanish name.
you're from France and you have a Spanish name?
Yeah, it's
Why
good.
is that?
Because my grandfather is Spanish. So we moved to France.
But do you speak Spanish and
No.
French?
I can understand a little bit.
So do you have any job here? Are you connected with youth or anything like that?
I employed some youth people during the summer, young people from England.
What kind of slave labor did you have them doing?
Tour merchandising for rock bands. I love it.
Yeah, sounds good. Okay, and who is this young lady here?
This is Rosanna. Where am I? From Vancouver, and you know me very well. You don't have to pretend.
Well,
Rockman.
the people who might look at
Might
this
see.
may not know who you are.
I'm from Vancouver, Canada.
What do you do there?
I work as an adult educator. Co-ops. I'm also a helper in the group.
Nothing else?
Oh, lots else. What can I tell you? It's great being here. It feels like a real privilege.
Yeah. Okay, I guess that's enough conversation for now.
Okay,
See you
thanks.
later.
See you later, Alan.
Bye. Here's some kind of booth selling batik.
School, and I can't look after her.
No, she has to go into the... Oh, don't you?
Wait, were you wearing that in the latihan?
Yes.
Oh, I noticed it. I kept looking at
A
it.
lot of people, well, that was
Well, these people seem to be having a conversation. I don't want to interrupt. How Bazaar. Oh, this is the name of this place. It's called How Bazaar. We have earrings and raffle tickets, suited symbols. And here's some Subud youth busy doing very constructive work here.
Kicking back, enjoying it.
Who are you, by the way?
My name is Maynard.
Who?
Richmond.
Richmond what?
Gleason.
Where are you from, Richmond?
Los Angeles.
And why are you here?
Because of Subud.
I heard you were thinking about being opened.
Yeah. Me and your son, actually.
Yeah. What made you decide to do that?
Oh, just been thinking about it for a while.
So what are you going to do after you get opened and Congress is over?
I'm going to travel around Australia.
Oh, that sounds good.
Yeah. Me and a couple of friends. A couple brothers. all that fun stuff, you know? Kick back on the beaches.
So this is your mom's booth here, huh?
Yeah.
These are all the things that she made.
Yep. It's been a long time doing it too.
Quite colorful. And these are Harlan McWillis's harps. Who's this young lady here? Who are you?
I've forgotten who I am. I know nothing.
You sound like you have a foreign accent. Where do you come from?
Stay here.
It's hard to
I'm
talk
on the
when
verge
you're...
of a nervous breakdown. I'm exhausted. I'm working like mad.
What have you been
I haven't
doing?
seen anything of the Congress.
What
Since
have
the
you been
first
doing?
day I've come out and I've got an ice cream. I've been involved with the French co-op.
Tell us what that is.
I really don't think I can. I think you have to just see it for yourself. Go down to the country club where the French cafes and have very healthy food and enjoy everything.
Okay, sounds good.
And there's also activities, just spontaneous activities.
What kind of spontaneous activities?
Oh, I can't explain if it's spontaneous. It just happens.
Okay, whoever you are, bye.
You can chop that out. Yeah, well this is it.
This is kind of like a outdoor bazaar.
If we thought that without that we can't get enterprises, we can get enterprises.
Hello.
I didn't know you were there.
What is all this here?
You asked her.
Sri Lanka?
And that bit is in aid of Suhada, Suhada project,
Social service project.
Oh, that's the... tell me a little bit about that. I heard about it, but I don't know too much what it is.
it's a community development project in Dehiwala. It's a slum project.
Slum project.
Yeah.
And what is it that you do there? What is it that happens there?
We run a clinic there, a preschool, a school for the dropouts. Now we have started a second preschool and a vocational training school.
And we teach them to sing.
That's
quite a
and
task.
we teach them to do also the dances.
Yeah, this might be a section.
Tell me who you are and where you're from.
I'm Helena Gunatilaka from Sri Lanka.
And are you the one who's in charge of this particular project,
Yes.
Suhada?
Yeah.
How has it been going? I mean, is it something that you can tell us a little bit about?
How it has been going?
Yeah, has it been successful? And
Yes, we started it in '84 with just a clinic. Now we have 2 preschools, 1 school for the dropouts, a vocational training school. So it has gone on very well.
great, sounds wonderful.
And there's a whole room in
St. Andrews.
St. Andrews. There's a hall with a whole series of pictures and explanations about the
Good.
project.
Good.
So anybody who's interested should go there and see everything that's happening in Sri Lanka.
I'll try to get over there. I haven't been to St. Andrews yet.
Oh, you haven't got that far. That's where I live,
Ah,
in Reed House.
and who are you?
I'm Vijita Abewardna, Sri Lanka. I'm the music teacher there.
The music teacher.
But music is a misnomer. They don't know how to pitch, but they have rhythm and they enjoy it so much. The only thing they like is to sing as loud as possible, and it makes them so happy that when they see me coming, I wear this hat and go, "Oh, hat lady has come, hat lady has come." Or otherwise, singing miss has come, sing miss has come. If they are happy, well, that's as good as anything.
Sounds great. You want to sing us a song?
I?
Yeah.
I can't sing. I can sing, but I don't like
the
to
singing
just
lady who doesn't sing.
That's right.
Okay. See you later.
Bye.
This is the big tent. Hello.
You also have a video.
Yes.
What is it, the VHS?
Yeah, VHS.
We are doing a video project. Are you interested?
Sure, yeah.
What's your name?
My name is Rockman Cantrell,
And you're from
Seattle, Washington.
Seattle. Oh, it's great.
And who are you?
I'm Araja Silim. And with a lot of young people, we're working on a video project. And we're trying to make a video for the Congress, and we're going to sell it after the Congress. And now we are trying to make posters to get people enthusiastic.
Yeah, good.
Yes.
I think I want to buy one already. You sold me. So what are you going to do on your video? What kind of things are you...
Well, we're trying to get as much as possible. We've got 50 or 60 hours of footage, and from that we're going to make it into a 2-hour film. But we are in short of cameras. We need to have more cameras.
What system do you use for
We
your...
use as well VHS is Betamax. And we also said that America and Japan, for instance, would pay more than Colombia, because Colombia is not a very rich country.
So is your system the same as this system here, VHS?
Yes, we have VHS too.
So you're going to combine it all together and
Yes.
just edit it and
Yes.
come up with something real good.
So where have you been? You just came here?
No, I've been here. I've been in hiding. Now, your father, is he the one who's in charge of the archives?
Yes, he's Faisal Selim.
Oh,
He's
that's
sitting there in the
wonderful.
corner. There.
Looks like there's some kind of a meeting going on
Yes,
over
it's
there.
it's a computer workshop.
Computer workshop. Did I hear you singing the other night?
Yes?
Well, you were very good.
Oh, thank you. I was very nervous though.
And was someone playing with you? Is this...
Yes. No, this is my brother.
Oh, this is your brother. Who are you?
I'm Roland Sillam.
Roland Sillam. Are you in this project too?
Well, I'm working on the posters, but that's about it. That's my contribution to this.
Okay.
I'm not doing any filming or whatever.
Are you an art major or something, or
He's an art director and an artist.
art director?
Yeah, well, I work as an art director for an agency. Advertising.
So I'll expect these posters to be really good then, huh?
Well,
we're working on it. It's pretty hard. It's yeah, it's a lot of think work. Trying to be funny.
Yeah, I know. This is not easy work.
No.
Interviewing people. Sometimes you can't think of the right questions to ask. And
Yes.
you have these long silences,
Yes.
like now. Well, I'd like to interview you all day. You're very pretty. But I'm going to go on to see someone else.
Yes. Okay.
See you later.
Nice to meet you.
Bye.
Und dann sind nur 3 Leute da, ne? Oder 4? Nein, das sind eine ganze Menge. Ganze Menge. Da ist der Reinhard, der Viktor, der Samuel. 4, 5, 6. Dann wir sind schon 3. Ne? Ja, 7. Subud has an eye for you. Die Mariana.
Do you speak English?
Just a bit.
Why don't you tell me where you're from and what are you doing here?
Well, we are visiting the Congress, coming from Hamburg, West Germany.
Big
I must look in the eye there. Do I? I can't do that.
And your name is what?
Kaspar Bartelt from Hamburg.
Kaspar
Bartelt,
Huh.
Hamburg,
And
West Germany.
who's this young lady here?
That's my wife.
It's your wife?
Yeah.
What is her name? What is your name?
Hannah Bartel.
Anna. And do you have a big group there where you come from?
Yeah, from Hamburg.
Yeah.
I think about 70 members.
How many people from Germany at this Congress?
Could be 50, 60 or so.
Well, good. Well, I'm going to go around and interview other people. Nice to meet you.
You have a strange right eye.
Big and black.
A black box.
Thank you. Bye. I recognize that laugh. Who's this young lady here?
Hello.
Who are you?
My name is Mardia. Are you recording this? Oh my.
What is all of this here, Mardia? All these colorful items.
This is my shop. I have a shop in Los Angeles, and I brought most of it with me to the Congress.
How's it going?
It's going very well.
I think I talked to your son over there a little while ago.
Oh yes.
He was very energetically laying down on that mattress.
Now disappeared. Yes, that's right. Yes. Well.
So how's this going for you?
It's going very well. Made some money and I'm making good contacts. I hope to go international with my business.
International?
Yes.
Great.
And maybe into mail order and get a business grant from my country, which should be easy for me to do if I have people that I can export my things to.
Great. Well, lots of success.
Well, thank you very much.
We'll see you later.
You can come join me at my workshop anytime. I'll show people my technique and let them have fun making their own wearable art.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
See you later.
Goodbye.
Bye. Here's another Subud member. What is your name?
Stacy.
Stacy? Yeah, that's good. And where are you from, Stacy?
Australia.
This is a real Australian baby, huh?
Twin brother.
Twin brother. Hello. What's your name?
He can't see you. Who's up here? Look. Who's this? Oh. He hasn't seen you. Oh.
So who's his mom? What's your name?
Aaliyah Bryson Haynes.
And where are you from?
Near Wollongong.
Wollongong.
Yeah, New South Wales, Australia. This is Albert. That's right.
The little guy's Albert.
This is Benedict.
Benedict?
And Rachel.
Hello, Rachel.
Where are you from, Rachel?
Australia. Albion Park.
That's right, Albion Park. Meadow House, that's right. Very good.
And who's this gentleman here?
I'm the uncle. Uncle Michael from England.
So Uncle Michael from England.
Michael Boyne.
So where's the father of all these kids?
Well, he's at work, but he's coming to the ball on Saturday.
Okay.
So maybe you'll see him there.
Okay. We'll see you later.
Say bye.
Bye.
Why are you keeping your eye on that camera?
They're taking us down.
Both eyes.
All the better to see you with.
Nah.
Bye-bye.
That's not. You can still see
Seems to be a little pleasant hangout here. We can have drinks, sit around and talk to each other.
Some of this stuff
This is the New Zealand booth.
Yeah, we on at night.
Oh, yeah. Is this for...
No, it's not.
Sorry.
Can I have another one?
Yeah, sure. Another vanilla one?
The New Zealand booth is famous for selling orange juice.
Yes, it is.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, just a little one.
Yeah, I know.
Just one.
It's late.
Hello.
Last card.
Alright, well let's start serving.
Mahmoud, is this your wife by any chance?
Yes, it is. I have to introduce you.
I think she's serving me already. She's serving me.
Little one more.
I'll give her part of mine.
Okay.
Mama.
You go, Mama, and
This is Rahman Control from San Francisco.
Alright, wait.
My wife, Salmia.
What is your name?
Salmia.
Salmia. Beautiful name. Where are you from?
France, Paris.
France.
Yes.
Now, is this your little girl down
That's
here?
my little Maria, yes. Yes, she goes. See, I think my husband was... Did you pay for me?
Yeah, I haven't did anything yet.
There you go. Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Maybe you should get a cone at me and just give us some of those. Could you give me a cone? Another cone? Just the cone? Yeah, I know you ran out.
Yeah, there's the last. Yes, no.
Too bad.
Too bad.
There you go, $7.
All right. Do you have a cup or something? Just, I can give us some ice cream in a cup.
Do you want me to put a bit of ice cream in it?
No, just the empty cup is fine. We'll give her a little bit. Thanks.
Spoon too?
Yeah, please. Push there. They're nice, these super people.
Yep.
They're very good. Thank you.
I want to ask your wife a question.
Go ahead.
Why did you marry this guy?
We married in England, but we met in Indonesia.
Is that right?
Yeah.
At Ramadan?
No. I was traveling for dance.
You weren't in Subud?
I was not in Subud.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. And it was a love story. First sight. First sight. That's how we met.
That's neat.
She looked at me and said, go on, you tell him. It's better coming from you than me, so I don't want to get too proud.
Well, I don't remember what I said.
What you thought was...
Oh, well, I met... I don't remember what I said.
You said you would marry me right away.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, I knew right away. That's the right person.
Just had a feeling, huh?
Yeah, that's right.
She knew, but I didn't. I didn't know I was the right person. I was really worried because I was, like, I had an idea of the person I was going to marry. She was definitely going to be a Subud girl, you know, and she would be like this and look like that and so on. And then when I met Salmia, she didn't fit any of that description. So I kind of... But then I was feeling, I could still feel how I felt about her, yeah? And there was a kind of a reaction. And then later I realized that the image I had of the person I was going to marry was just a reflection of my own self-image. That's all. And so when I met her, I had such a feeling. The kind of critical feelings around that, the fear, was because I was losing my self-image was attacked, badly disturbed. Happily so.
So how do you feel after being married and having a baby?
I feel very grateful, I feel very humble.
Good thing.
And I don't know how to use the word properly, fearful of the power of God. The power that can bring a child in the world, and it's the power that can take a child out. And you start to feel, my God, what is that? It's a healthy fear.
Yeah. A lot more responsibilities and sort of taking care of more than one person.
Yeah. And well, in taking care of them, or take care of me. I never really took care of me before, you know.
Okay.
Excuse me.
Yes.
May I have a large?
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, yes. This one, that's for you.
This is a very serious group here. Is this some very official meeting? Okay, go on to something else. Here's some interesting looking people.
Oh yeah, we're just about the most interesting people at this Congress, wouldn't you say?
No. But we're camera shy, so...
You're camera shy?
Hey, that guy looks pretty interesting. Who's he anyway?
Why don't you tell me who you are?
Well, my name's Andrew Graham.
Yeah.
And
who's this young lady?
Wiluya.
Wiluya?
Wiluya.
How do you spell that?
W-I-L-U-Y-A.
Okay. What's your last name, Wiluya?
Well, I'm married to Andrew Graham here. But I'm not sure, I haven't decided on my last name
Okay,
yet.
you two are married and you're from where?
Canada.
And do you have some special function or some reason for being here?
Well, we're all here for the same reason, but special function, I'm representing my Western region as the Western Regional Chairperson, but I'm not representing it officially. I'm just here on my own.
Well, that's
we're
good.
here just because we're here.
Well,
it's the place
actually, we were just sitting down. We've got our notebook out here. We're going to sit down and try and figure out why we're actually here.
Well, I know you were going to do this thing where you make lists, positive and negative, and...
No, we won't go that far.
No. There's only one list. There's only one list.
Only one list. Well, you look like you're having fun. Are you having fun?
Well, we are actually. We're
Well, we're glad we're here. We're glad we made it. At least I'm glad we made it. But right this moment, you caught us at the strangest moment because we need to take care of practical things, but we find it difficult to leave. You know, we'd like to see Darling Harbour, get some money, but we don't want to leave the premises.
Well, we thought since we're sitting down to take care of practical matters, we decided to sit down here at the end of this end of the big tent,
so that we could avoid people
where
like
we
you
have
with cameras.
over at this table over there no less than 6 men international helpers. So we thought, well, we got some practical matters to take care of. Why don't we just sit down here? We can soak up some of the good vibes and get our accounts in order.
They sit in proximity of those guys over there who are international helpers, very serious bunch.
Oh yes.
Not really, underneath it.
Well.
They just look serious, they're not really.
They're not really serious.
They appear to be serious, but really, you can see the glint in their eyes.
You can see the glint in Daniel's eyes.
I do see a couple of smiles over there.
Oh yeah.
Actually, we're just trying to change the focus of this over to them, because one of the reasons we're down in this corner is to avoid people like you with cameras.
Oh!
I'm very camera shy. Rothman, why are you doing this to me?
Camera shy?
I'm just doing
camera?
a close-up of your teeth.
Oh, please. Oh, I had them cleaned before I left by a Subud lady who's a dental hygienist. So
those teeth
they
have got the
probably look
latihan.
okay.
That's
I'm glad I have my
wonderful
dark
story.
glasses on, though.
Well, I'm going to let you go, and I'm going to go.
Well, thanks, Rockman. It's been a pleasure, and we hope that we can talk to you again sometime soon.
We'll give you a better interview in a week. Give us a week.
Okay. See you later.
Bye for now.
Here's a suspicious-looking guy.
No question.
Who are you?
Stefan Schwab from Boulder, Colorado.
And you have a young lady that you just recently married, right? Is she around somewhere?
She is. I'm trying to find her. Lucia, previously Lucia Cargill. She's the Rocky Mountain Regional Chairperson.
And have you been enjoying the Congress? Or you're having a good time here? Or?
Well, no, not yet. It's been a struggle for us. We booked at the very last minute, and we were in a place across the harbor in Cremorne Point. and it was too far away, and the place was nice, but wasn't very clean. It had had a fire, and one night, just going back there, we got on the wrong ferry going across the harbor and got stuck in the rain after midnight. We've got 2 children with us, Grace and Harlan. 12. Grace is 10 and Harlan's 12. And we decided that we were too far away from the group here, and we moved just yesterday, in fact, to a place right across Parramatta Road. It's a bed and breakfast. So we've just now starting to get settled, just barely.
Good.
It's taking a while, but I'm glad to be here.
Good. I'll talk to you later once you get a little more happy about being here.
Okay.
Okay.
Sounds good.
See you later. Hello.
Hi.
Who are you?
I'm Robert Mertens. Hi, Rockman.
Where are you from, Robert?
I'm from Subud, New York, USA, and I live up north in Chappaqua, New York.
Chappaqua?
In Westchester County.
Sounds like an Indian name.
It is an Indian name. It means marshy place.
Huh.
There was an Indian named Saxon-Wampus that called it that. First European settlers got there.
Are you enjoying the Congress?
I'm having a wonderful time so far.
And anything special you'd like to share with us about what's happened to you so far? Or?
The latihans have been really beautiful for me. It's only been a few days, but I feel very, very good.
You're here with your family, right?
With my wife.
Okay. I'll talk to you later. This is St. John's College. There's an interesting young lady here coming out of the doorway.
I hope you don't have film in there. I don't see a red light. You can't fool me.
You're Ruth Jehoda, right?
That's right.
And you're in charge of archives?
That's right.
For
Subud USA.
Subud USA.
Right.
And I've already interviewed you, so I don't want to interview you again.
I think so, yes.
I'll talk to you later.
Do you really have a red light? You don't have a red light when you're on?
No, I covered it up. We're going to go into the building. This is the bulletin board here. This is kind of a common room and sitting room. A lot of pictures of Bapak. Start on this end and take a look. This says Kedung Jati, house where Bapak grew up. This one says Bapak with his mother and his first wife, mother of Ibu Siti Rahayu, Aryono and Ibu Ardiyati. This one says Bapak, his mother, his wife, and 2 children. Picture. This one says Bapak on the right with other family members. This says Bapak as a young man. Bapak Center office staff. See that? See if we can get a little better. young man. Bapak with his wife, Ibu Sumari, Ibu Siti Rahayu, and Ibu Hardiati. Jakarta, first picture of the Subud members and Hussein Rofai. Bapak, early 1950s. Early 1950s, left to right, Aryono, Ibu Samari with Ismawati, Bapak holding Isti Aji, Bayu Mahanawati with Isni Astuti, and Pak Mangum. Let's see if this picture is here. Hard to. How do you make this up? This is Sumatra, early 1950s. Bapak and Ibu Sumari. Too much glare on it. Let's see. What a spot I can see. This is Sumatra, early 1950s, Bapak and Ibu Sumari. This says Jakarta, mid-1950s. It says Isti Aji with Ibu Sumari and Bapak, mid-1950s. Bapak at Coomb Springs, 1957. See these pictures. Ibu Siti Rahayu, Bapak Isni Astuti, Ibu Sumari, Istiaji, Ibu Hardiati. Testing my focusing mechanism. Okay, this says late 1950s, young Malia Bapak. This one, says Bapak at Pleneg, 1958. John Bennett is on the right. Ibu Ismana sits next to Bapak. Eva Elena Bartak sits in front of Ibu Sumari. Next to Elena is Ibu Siti Rahayu. Itsan is on the right. This one says Bapak on one of his many journeys. This one says Bapak being photographed in Japan. And Bapak at an airport. And interestingly, I think this is one of my early photographs. This is plans for the building of Subud. This one says Subud, early 1960s. Bapak, 1960s. And 1960s. Ismawati and Bapak, late 1960s. Young Malia Bapak, late 1960s. Bapak on a journey. That's in the left-hand section. Bapak in the USA, late 1960s. Bapak, late 1960s. Bapak in Isni Astuti, leaving 9 Reddington Road, London, late 1960s. Bapak at the 1971 Congress. This is the opening of the Latihan Hall, Subud, 1971. Bapak Payono, the son, followed by Virendra. This is the opening of the Latihan Hall, Subud, 1971. Bapak with His Excellency, President Suharto of Indonesia. This is Bapak at his farm in the mountains. And the same view of the farm. Bapak early 1970s. Bapak and his birthday cake, mid-70s. Breaking the ground for the start of the Eswajoyo building. Congress 1975. This is Congress 75, Windhausen. 1980. Different view here. About 1960. The SBIF meeting, the Eswajoyo Center, 1984. And this is Bapak at Ramadan, 1985. Ramadan, 1985. It's not bad. Indonesian Independence Day, 1985. Papa in the Latihan Hall of Chalandak, 1986. Papa and Ibu Mastudi, Baha's children and grandchildren, 1986. Idul Fitri, 1986. This one is entitled Papa Visits the Family Grave, 1986.
That kind of.
This is Gilbert Rahan talking to Gilbert from Pakistan.
He has to person at the end of the day you can see if you get the degree or not. Right. And then this is a good idea. Yeah. At least know something now.
This is Papa at the Nugraha, 1986.
But I would like to see it the other way around also.
This is Papa's last journey overseas.
Developing countries go to the West. Normally it is not a success.
Papa at the ceremony for the completion of the roof of his new house at Kamala.
But that we are not together, working together, and say we are doing it in this way, that he is really going back. They should go. Yeah, that is the kind of to serve their nations, yes. I'm in fact, what was his demand? In fact, when he was born, he told me to talk to you especially. What idea he has in his mind that if someone give his sponsorship, so he can go to just a sponsorship that I'm responsible.
This is a display of the Kalimantan mining project, gold mining project. And a quick look at these shots.
1-0. Wow.
Just heard a story about going up to the mining land. A difficult trip. So a guy motorized boat, spending long hours traveling, and then to get to the actual mine. This is where Campsite. And somebody took the quick method by helicopter. There the modern one, it says.
Yeah, I think if you feel that traveling himself is top priority. No, it's a little complicated to travel. To get Rosette to travel, it's a little bit.
It says Gold Miner's Wheel. It's a mining town. Not too much of this.
What's happened is that the national helpers were tested along the way by the groups.
This is the front of St. John's College. Too much to see there. The telephones.
Hi, Mom. Oh, can you just go there?
Where are you guys?
Huh?
What's your name?
I'm Emma. Hi, Mom.
Where are you from?
I'm from Melbourne. He's from Wollongong. Yeah, that's right. But I was born in England.
So you guys are Australians, huh?
Yep. Yeah, we're
Well, what are you saying? G'day, huh? Here's a Subud youth, all dressed up in his new Subud youth shirt.
Make it good. Hi, Mom.
This is another section of the tent city.
We go on the
I've never seen anything like that. Yeah, that's the 3-hole one.
Okay, this college is called the Women's College. And who's this young man here?
Well, I'm Efrain from Argentina.
You've been enjoying the Congress?
Oh yes, quite fun. Meeting people, nice workshops, and well, you can get information from all other countries, many countries. I mean.
Yeah. Have you met any nice young ladies?
Well, there are some. I came here to the women's college especially for that.
So here we are.
I thought they would say women's college. Well, here must be the ladies.
So we're on our way to the women's college to explore and see what is actually there.
We can make closer our frontiers, Australia and Argentina meetings with ladies, having fun.
Okay, let's go in the college and see if there's actually any women there.
We'll see. I actually suppose it's because the ladies would stay here. When there is the...
let's try these steps over here and see if that will get us in. This is a new experience for both of us. Neither one of us have been in the women's college yet.
Yes.
We don't know what to expect. Let's try going in this direction. Well, here's a sign that says women. Does this mean something special here? I see some women. Hello. They're very elusive. There were a few women here and they never vanished.
We are not on the right time. It's not the right time.
Hello.
Hello, how are you?
This is the women's college?
That is correct.
Now, is that only for women or do you have men here too?
Well, it's basically for female students, but we have men here who are basically here for security reasons.
For security reasons?
For security reasons, yes.
Huh.
To look after us, make sure we don't get into trouble and to make sure people don't get us into trouble.
Looks like they don't help with moving the furniture though, huh?
Very good. Just turn around. We just all turn around, let's all roll or something.
How is the food in this particular college?
Based on the campus. Simply.
Simply the best.
So how do you rate this as compared to Wesley College, which is next door?
Comparison.
No comparison?
No comparison. Women's College is probably one of the most prestigious colleges in any university in Australia. That's not coming from any bias.
Cheapest and in the best condition.
Cheapest in the best condition and prestigious.
Well, Wesley, I don't know what Wesley food's like doing conferences. Doing things like it's not very good. Not anything that's completely inspiring. Oh no.
I should get your name.
Do you think you should get my name?
Yes.
I might get very embarrassed.
Well, who are you?
Carolyn was last year's senior student here.
This is who?
This is Carolyn. We're both Carolyn.
We're both Carolyn.
But this Carolyn was last year's senior student.
Senior student.
Yeah.
Huh.
Like student in charge. Head girl.
Head girl. So you're in
captain
charge
or
of
whatever else you wanna call it.
you're in charge of the building here then. Is that right?
No.
No?
I'm in charge of, what am I in charge of?
Representing the students. And representing the student body, so if we want anything
to represent
raised in council meetings,
like with the
we
college,
talk through her.
Oh, I see.
So you represent the students with the college administration, and then you represent the students whatever's
Okay.
going on.
Now, are there students here? I thought this was the summer time for you, and so not students here now.
No, there aren't. I'm here to work on a conference.
Same with me.
I see. So, have you met the Subud people that are here in this college?
A few. We were doing a different conference.
We're on a
doing
different
summer
conference,
school.
you see, so we've met a few who got lost and wanted to know where to go and thought that they could register with us.
Yeah.
That's about it.
Well, that's good.
I ran into a few of them going into town lunchtime. They were all speaking French, so obviously they were from France
or some French speaking
Canadian.
So what do you think of them as a group? Do you think they're nice people, or are they kind of crazy, or what do you think?
Oh, they seem to get on with each other. I suppose. We haven't had much.
I haven't had much,
at all.
no. We've been busy because our conference sort of starts at 8 and goes through all through the day till drinks at 5, and then you've got supper and things, and by the time you finish all 8 you just sort of go, another day's finished and collapse. So I sort of haven't had much time to get around and talk to anybody else or to meet anybody else.
Well, nice to meet you and talk to you.
That's scary, that thing. That's it, yes. You can't tell whether it's on or it's not on. It's not fair. We've been fighting a video camera in our own conference all week.
Huh.
So, we better make this place decent.
Subud is, I think it's over on the
29th or 30th
yeah,
January.
something like that.
I've never heard of it before.
Well, you have,
I have now.
there is a Subud group that's very close to here.
Is there?
Subud building, I think maybe.
So what, they're worldwide?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Should catch some of the ladies and get them to talk about it if you're interested. See you later.
But as long as we've got a table to put drinks on, like.
I mean, well, I was going to help, but I've got to get my
Well, there's some sort of a sign of Subud presence here.
Yes.
It looks like most of the people must be gone to some sort of concert. There's a concert going on right now.
Concert. I didn't know about the concert. I don't know there's workshops. Journey beyond the stars. And I think that is Lukman's Keel.
Yeah, Lukman Keel.
I haven't seen him. Have you seen him?
No, I haven't seen him here. Don't know where he is. I heard someone say that he was in Singapore or someplace having this book printed. So it has already been printed, and don't know where he is.
Forward to see him. I haven't seen him for 6 years or 7 years.
Okay, let's wander on. Hello.
We finished. You did. Is it all wound up? No, they're still lining. Yes, they've got about, she said it's 55.
Can't wear it. Probably straight conservative one.
Oh, this is what I'm selling. No, these pictures. Oh. This is the story of the school.
Story of the college, yes. Bits of it, yes.
Old students.
See, now we're in St. Andrews, and we're looking at some displays of some of the Sushila Dharma projects. There's a typical Subud member who's very interested in Sushila Dharma. This is the Suhada project. It's in, actually no, this is something different. This is Lisbon, Alfragide Community Project, Lisbon, Portugal. Founded in 1980, was set up to meet the needs of the children of families who had fled from former Portuguese colonies. This is something called BTC Preschool. This is Suhada project. So it's a project partnership with Sushila Dharma, Germany. Results in obtaining major funding, 75% from West German government, for the new vocational training center. This is the Sri Lanka project. This is Colegio Amor Preschool, Pagoda, Colombia. Started in 1986. Already 75 children of a slum area in Bogota use the school free of charge. This is the playground of the school. This is the two teachers, Monica and Nushti, outside the classroom. As soon as the opening of a second preschool in Bogota is planned. This is a view of one of the classrooms. This is Fountain Housing Association in the UK. It says the founders were led by the vision of providing handicapped children with the simple things that any family would provide: food, loving care, comfortable surroundings, and pleasant family conditions. This is a photo of Wisma Mulia in Frampton-on-Severn. It's a home for elderly people. .45 River Street. Fountain House set up a hostel for physically able but mentally handicapped adults. They can stay there for life if they wish. This is the Pestalozzi schools in Quito, Ecuador.
I've been in this college and schools I visited.
You've been to the Pestalozzi schools?
Yes, I spent some days. This is they have two schools. One's for the kids who can pay, and they go and fetch them in a minibus, and they go to school, and they have another one just the same for the Indians, with the same system, totally free, paid by the money they gain with the other school. It's incredible, the system. I've never seen something like that. I felt I envied those kids when I was there. The way they learn, how easy they learn. They use all these little beans, they put it in here. And it was amazing because I remember Rebecca with a 5-year-old, 6 maybe, I don't remember which age she had, boy. And she put a very long number on the blackboard, and she said, okay, this number multiplied by another very big, very large. And in a few seconds or in a few minutes, the boy started, with these little beans, he started to put them on these holes of those boards, making all strange movements. And he started writing one number first, second, third, and it was, I don't know, 10 numbers, multiplication, maybe more. And he had in a very short time, he had the answer. It was amazing. I wasn't in this area.
So this is a site of a new school that they want to build here?
They teach them to everything, to sew, to print, printing machines, make music.
What is this project here? Do you know anything about this one?
No, this is in Central Java.
KUU Community Development Project, Grinting, Sengan, Central Java. Poorest families of the villages receive help through school sponsorships, health programs, savings and loan programs, goat breeding programs, and vocational training courses. This one is Community Center at Grinting, functions as a place for meetings and courses, and also provides office facilities. And the picture is of Ibu Ismana and Hartati Horthy from Yum. That's the parent organization for Project KUU. This is the children's community in West Java, Indonesia. And this is the Japanese Clinic. It's a rural medical center in West Java. The Dharma Indonesia scholarship programs, Kalimantan kids. It's just kind of a general. Pictures of the kids who are in these different projects. This is the Pamalong Center, caring for young and old in Jakarta. So nutrition and healthcare in Jakarta. This is a display of the Mariana Butte Memorial Fund. This is the preschool in Indonesia. This seems to be kind of a common sitting room for St. Andrew's College. We're here at the time of day when nobody's around. I think everybody's at a concert or something. Here we are at Wesley College. This is where we've been staying. Quite nice. And there goes a very suspicious Subud member.
No?
Casi en medio del día.
Hello.
¿Cómo estás? Siempre.
Look what ladies we have here in Wesley.
Yeah, beautiful.
No, sí, ya me voy. Vine de visita
This
mía.
is Latin American
Sí, sí, yo estoy enojada en su casa que no me conoce.
sweet girls we have.
Beautiful.
Yes, I think so. Me voy a comer.
Before you go off, say who you are for the camera.
Say what?
Say who you are, what your name is, and where
Oh,
you're from.
I'm Luisa Davanzo from Chile, Santiago.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Ciao.
There are some really nice places also, buildings that you see here. You're going there to the school and then there is a bank across.
I've never been there. This is our dining room. This is where we come to eat our delicious gourmet meals. And then Wesley College. Wesley College, who's this guy? Come here. Would you say who you are, where you're from?
My name, Jose Jimenez.
Mr. Jimenez, what country are you from?
I can't remember. Ecuador. Goodbye.
Goodbye. One of the many satisfied customers in this gourmet cafeteria.
growing at this table. I came here, I was just, you know, and all of a sudden,
She's Hamilton from Portland.
I've been given all this. Just during dinner.
During dinner.
That's right. He's also famous.
We have heard that the meals here at Wesley are probably the best of any of the colleges. Do you agree with that?
I've heard that and I agree with it. They're also the nicest people to get along with. Put up with us. Extra hours and overtime.
Who are you, by the way?
Elena Stokes, Sacramento, California, USA.
Elena Stokes from Sacramento, California, USA. And you're not married, right? Who are you?
Simeon Rogers.
Simeon Rogers?
Yeah.
From where?
Bloomington, Indiana.
Seriously? Bloomington, Indiana.
Go ahead. Turnabout is fair play, right, you know.
Okay.
Is he married? Not married?
What is your marital status?
Divorced.
Divorced. Okay. You got a good match going here. Are you two compatible for each other?
Oh, we've had one argument already.
Yeah.
One argument.
Yeah.
That's a good start. What do you think of the food here?
It's great.
Okay.
Can't be beat.
I think we have established that Wesley College has the best food.
Absolutely.
Okay, good.
Okay.
No doubt.
Nice to get these things solidified.
That's quite an expression. Well, oh, him?
Okay.
Hello.
Hi.
Who are you?
Laya Hubbard.
From where?
Oh, sorry. The Seattle, United States.
Seattle, United States.
Washington State.
Washington State, okay. And who's this beautiful young lady here?
I'm Virginia Cantrell from San Francisco.
I'm not beautiful. Biased opinion there.
Who's this beautiful young lady?
Well, I'm not really beautiful, but...
Hassan, would you just say a little bit about who you are and a little bit of background, where you're from, and things like that?
Well, my name is Hassan Fehmi, and I was born on the island of Cyprus in the Eastern Mediterranean in 1926. Up to the age of 25, I was not interested in religious matters. But one day in early 1950, a friend of mine said to me that there was an Englishman in Cyprus lecturing on a new system for the spiritual development of man. And I started following his lectures, and I found out later on that he was lecturing on Gurdjieff, who was a Russian originally mystic who had traveled all around Central Asia and Tibet, and he had died in 1949. Through that I started showing an interest on the mystical side of the religions, and I started searching for the spiritual development of man. I read a lot about Sufism and the turning dervishes and all the Muslim orders, religious orders, which were existing in the old days in Turkey and most parts of the Muslim world. With the lectures on the Gurdjieff system, we continued for 7 years. There was a small group of people in Cyprus who were coming to these lectures, and as part of the Gurdjieff system to call or teaching, we used to do some movements as well. Gurdjieff himself had composed some music which was being played on the piano, and we were doing some movements which were very useful in making ourselves conscious and alert. And actually the philosophy of Gurdjieff was depending on being aware of oneself and being conscious of his actions and what he did during his daily life. And through this alertness and awareness, one was able to sort of know what he's doing and know himself. The main philosophy was to know oneself. It was very useful, I mean, and I found it interesting. So that's why I continued for 7 years. During this time we invited J.G. Bennett to Cyprus, who was a close friend of the Englishman who was lecturing us. Actually his name was very German, Ronimon von Bissing he was called in those days, but he was an Englishman because his family had emigrated from Austria, I think, to England in the 16th century. And Ronimon von Bissing was a close friend of John George Bennett, who was also in the Gurdjieff system, which had many groups in England, France and America, some of them run by Uspensky, who was very close to Gurdjieff and had taken over from him. Towards the end of the year 1956, somebody came to Cyprus from the east who was called Hussein Rofe. He had written an article in one of the Hong Kong magazines, and an Englishman living in Cyprus called Roland Starr found that article very interesting and invited Hussein Rofe to Cyprus. But when he actually paid his expenses also to come to Cyprus, which in those days I think it was £200. But Roland Starr was mainly interested in healing and homeopathy and things like that, so he didn't find the idea that Rofe was sort of trying to support, and he was not very interested in Rofe's ideas. So Rofe got a job in Cyprus and he started teaching English in a Turkish school. In the meantime, Rofe was speaking about a new way of spiritual development which he had contacted in the Far East and actually in Indonesia. And Cyprus was a British colony then, and the Chief Justice, someone called Sir Eric Hallinan, invited Rofe one night to a party, and Ronimon von Bissing was also there. And he introduced Rofe to Bissing, and they started discussing what was Bissing lecturing and what was Rofe trying to spread, which was called Subud. And Bissing found it very interesting, and Rofe offered to teach him or to open him, as they say, into Subud. And Bissing agreed to be opened by Rofe, and after a few exercises with Rofe, which were later called latihans, an Indonesian word used for exercises, Bissing decided to speak about this new system, which is Subud, to his close friends in England. And he went to England to speak to his sister's husband, Walton, who was also in the Gurdjieff system. Actually, Bissing had been in the Gurdjieff system since 1936, and this was 20 years later, in 1956. And while they were talking, Bennett happened to come in just by himself. So he got into the conversation, and it was decided there to invite Rofe's master, to say, in those days, from Indonesia to come to Cyprus. But because there was trouble in Cyprus in those days, it was not considered safe to bring Rofe's teacher to Cyprus, whom we later called Papak or Muhammad Pak Subud, which was his original name. So it was decided that Rofe should rent a house in London and invite Papak to London. In the meantime, while Rofe was in Cyprus, he had opened another person called Mr. Kibble, and who was also in Cyprus, serving with the Barclays Bank. And it was decided to invite Papak to London. And when we asked to be opened ourselves, because Bissing had said that he would not continue with the lectures on Gurdjieff anymore, and that he was himself leaving Gurdjieff and switching to Subud. And he made the offer to us as well. If we wanted, we could stay with the Gurdjieff system, or we could change to Subud, which he found more interesting. And it was suggested to us that we should write to Indonesia and ask Papak whether he could open us when he came to London. And the reply was in the positive. So when Papak came to London in May 1957, 3 of us from Cyprus went to London, and we were opened in early June 1957 in London. That's how I got into Subud, and after a month in London I invited my wife as well to come to London to be opened, and she came also to London, and she was also opened there. In those days there were no helpers yet, so when we dispersed from Coomb Springs, the place where we were open was called Coomb Springs actually, where Bennett had an institute called the Institute for the Contemporary Study of Psychology, Philosophy and Religions, you see. And he was having himself a sort of a congress there. And when Papak had opened many people, the house he was staying in London was not enough to open all people, so Bennett offered Papak to go and live in Coomb Springs, in the institute. So we were, there was enough accommodation at Coomb Springs for people who came from other countries, and I was staying in Coomb Springs, and Papak was opening hundreds of people every day in those days. And when we left Coomb Springs and we turned to our countries, we were asked to open anybody who wanted to come into Subud. And that's how groups started in many countries. Well, and since then I have been continuing in Subud until today. I don't know whether it's enough.
What was your first impression when you first met Papak?
Well, I was expecting something like a miracle. Of course, the word opening in those days had no meaning and nobody could explain it to us. When we first met Papak, I could feel that he was not an ordinary person. I mean, I had my ideas about a teacher or a sheikh or a master, as we call in the Middle East, in Islam. I was actually expecting an old man with a long beard and white hair, but when I saw Papak with a tie, it was not strange to me, because still I could feel that he was not an ordinary man, and I could feel that I could hardly look into his face. And when we were taken into a room to be opened, about 15 or 20 of us at the same time, and Papak stood in front of us and we lined up, and he said, we begin, and we began. And the first thing that I received was a vibration and the trembling of my knees. my feet started trembling. And then I looked up and said, really, there is a different force in this house now, which is it has started working on me. Without my desire and without my wishing, out of my wish, my feet started trembling, and there was something very powerful going on, and it had great influence on me, and I started immediately praying in the Muslim way and thanking God that I saw this power which I had been looking on for 7 years in the Gurdjieff system, and I couldn't find. There it was in a minute. And that was the first impression that I had about Papak and Subud in general.
What is your evaluation of it after being in for so many years? What is...
Well, it is 31 years now. I think all these years have shown through my experience that I owe everything to Subud. I work for the government, and all the promotions that I got in my work, I had 4 children, all graduated their universities. I have lived a very successful life according to our standards in Cyprus. Before coming to Subud, I was a good drinker. It's because we produce brandy and wine in Cyprus. But after coming to Subud, my life started to be balanced, and the extremes had gone away. I started living a sort of a normal life. My family life was very good and very successful. I never had any troubles at home, either with my wife or my children. And I also never had any serious illness except for flu or things like that. I've never been to a doctor. You see, my health has been very good, and I'm thankful to God for that. And I believe that Subud has worked into every part of my body and into everything that I did in life. I had no problems at all, except for still drinking sometimes. That was my misunderstanding sometimes with my wife, because when I went out with some friends and I said I would come back at 9, instead of 9 I would come at 11 or 12, and sometimes taking some drinks more than necessary. That was the only case. But even while I was drinking and when I was with friends, when I was out, I could feel that at a certain stage the reins were being pulled back. I wasn't allowed by a force to go further and surrender to what we were discussing there or what we were seeing. I could feel that I was always guarded and reserved, and at a certain stage I would stop immediately, just cut the rope, and not go any further. And with any people that I spoke with, or whatever I did, I could feel that Subud was there, the power of Subud was there. And I could also feel and see very openly the approach of people towards me and their attitude. And sometimes I was asking whether I deserved that sort of good treatment from people. And I could later on see that it was the inner contents that I had. Everybody considered me very friendly, and I never quarreled or discussed anything with sort of high voice or shouting things. And I have lived a very good life, to say, and I'm sure it is through Subud. Yes.
You told me earlier that your wife had died.
Yes, that was an experience, yes.
How was that for you to accept that?
Well, it's 5 years now, just 5 years and 21 days. That was a great change in my life, because we lived a very successful married life during the time that we were together, acquired 4 children. Personally, I believe that any man or woman who is not married and has not acquired children can hardly be a perfect person spiritually, because the experience of being married and living that bliss or pleasure, and the experience of acquiring children, both boys and girls, educating those children and bringing them up, makes a man or a woman perfect, makes a man or a woman acquire really great patience and experience, and that influences his whole attitude, his work, his life, and that's the natural way of life. And I found that nothing can replace the place of a wife. Whatever one does, travels, reads, has money, whatever he does, nothing can replace. Even if he has another 10 women after his wife's death, as mistresses or friends, nothing can replace a married life or a wife at home. The others are just temporary pleasures which do not last long, and one can feel that they come for a purpose, not to have a proper union like a husband and wife. So my wife's departure from this world was really a shock to me, and I had to go around the world a few times in order to forget things. But I also felt that I couldn't dirty myself with other women, and that was through Subud again, that I felt that union between men and women is something very holy, very, very holy, and that if I go out with other women, I was going to be dirty to such an extent that I wouldn't be able to cleanse myself after that. So it went on until now, and in the meantime I had some attempts to get married, but I wasn't successful, and I feel that they were not right for me, perhaps, the women that I had made the offer, and God prevented me from getting married with them, because I also felt that perhaps their values were completely different than mine. And instead of a wife helps a man to approach God, definitely, I can say that very clearly. And I felt that those women perhaps would take me away from God, rather helping me to approach God. Mm-hmm. So they didn't come with any result, and I'm thankful actually later on, although I had my tests, or I had my mini sort of tests in me whether I should make the offer, and it all came that I should, but when I was refused, then I also said that it may not have been good for me. So I think whatever I do in this world, my aim and purpose must be that I should come nearer to God rather than anything else. So that's my main purpose in life, and nothing can replace that.
Are you still interested in finding another wife?
I am, actually I am. I am, because I believe that by staying alone and by not getting married, many times I have been sinning in my mind. You see, because my mind works. I see women, I have my animal feelings which I have to satisfy. And even at this age, sometimes it's not easy. It's not easy. And we sin most of the time in our minds. It may be, of course, God is pardoning us later on if we ask Him to pardon us, and we see our mistakes and our sins and we repent. God is great, and fortunately it's not like men who do not pardon and never forget. God is very wide and pardons us. But I think it's not, had it not been in Subud, I'm sure I would have married any woman, or I would have revolted and start doing strange things, going out with women, drinking. But here also somebody pulls the reins again, you see, and warns me to be careful. But I definitely believe that a man of whatever age he is, he must have a wife. Whatever he does, something is lacking. And as it is said in the Christian religion, it's half apple. You see, to make it complete, the two halves must get together. You see, and in Islam, there is a verse in the Quran which says that a man without a wife is naked, and the wife is the dress of man. You see, so being naked will be influenced by the rain, by the wind, by the sun, by everything.
Yeah.
So we need a wife to be our dresser and protect us. You see, so I'm living that. It's in my daily life. You see, I feel it every day. But I don't know what keeps me away from one. Perhaps the right time will come and it will be better and will give me a strong push and fill up these 5 years gap. You see.
Do you have any specifications or qualifications that you're looking for in a wife?
Well, actually there are moments when I see even an animal as a wife. You see, we have such moments when we go very flat down. You see, anyone will do. But then when it comes to the real thing of deciding on a wife, first of all, I think a wife should believe in God and have faith. You see, because I don't think it will be possible to me when I speak about, say, religion or a saint or something, if she tells me stop that nonsense again. What's religion nowadays? You see, if she tells that she's not good for me, I kick her away straight away, you see. I mean, that's my first thing, that it shouldn't be rich. I don't care about richness, I don't care about beauty, I don't care about anything else more than faith in God, you see, but not a fanatically religious who will spend all his time praying, you see, and do nothing else, you see. Or if I drink a glass of beer, tell me, you're a Muslim, why are you drinking beer, you see. That I don't want sort of to interfere in me. But if she has faith in God, she'll understand it. I also want my wife to dance. I don't want her to be covered like in Saudi Arabia in a veil. You see, go out swimming. You see, I'm not a fundamentalist, as they say nowadays, as a born Muslim and as somebody who has been on pilgrimage to Mecca. But faith is the most important thing in women. And of course, I have come to believe that if she is in Subud, that will be better. She may come through me to Subud again, but then there's a possibility that she may not, you see, which will be hell for me again. You see, if I say that I'm going to Latihan tonight, and if she says, what's that nonsense? Where are you going? Why don't you stay with me? There again, we depart from each other. See, those are the few values that I have. And besides that, there's a question of age and social standing as well, especially in our small part of the world, where people are very inquisitive and gossiping a lot about things. One has to be a bit careful in not being an extreme in order to draw attention wherever one goes. If I have a very beautiful young wife, and I'm only 60, and I'm 60 and she's 30 or 35, and wherever we pass in the street, everybody turns and looks at you, I don't like that as well. I mean, that's in small places there, look, he's 60 and he has a wife of 30 or 35. So like the Greek Prime Minister Papandreou, who is 69 and has a wife of 34. He's losing his whole political life. And there are many people like that, of course, but I think age counts a lot in the social relations or in relations between husband and wife. And the difference shouldn't be more than 10 years, I think. And I think that the wife should always be younger, 5 or 6 years younger than the husband. Those are the values. The other thing is sometimes I say that a person shouldn't have a wife who is taller than him or very short than him. They should be a sort of agreeing a bit bodily as well. And again, there are problems when one side is very rich and the other side is very poor. You see, in the case of men, it may not be so difficult, but if the wife is very rich, she'll always look down upon the husband, and that may be a problem, you see. Also, a very rich man, if he marries a very poor girl, he'll also have problems maybe, but he may raise the wife up to him, but if she comes from a poor family, the parents will not be able to meet each other, and I mean, like a shepherd's daughter marrying a professor's son, or a professor's daughter marrying a shepherd's son. You see, that creates some problems and doesn't last long, especially in our part of the world. In big cities it may be different, but in our part of the world we had many experiences and many cases like that which they had to separate because the parents couldn't agree with each other, and they made hell the life of their children. So the local conditions also have to be borne in mind sometimes. We cannot get out of it when we are part of the local conditions and of the social events around us, and we have to fit in with those circumstances.
Yeah.
Yes.
Change the subject again. Do you have any particular experiences that you've had in Subud that were kind of unusual, or things that would have a real strong effect on you, or something, just anything that comes to mind?
Well, I had many, but the first thing that came to my mind was when I joined Subud. Immediately afterwards I had some doubts whether it was right to leave the Gurdjieff system, which I had been a member for about 7 years, whether it was not a sort of ingratitude and disrespect to the Gurdjieff system. And I had an experience once receiving that I was being taken somewhere, and Ronimon von Bissing was holding my right arm and Bennett my left arm, and Gurdjieff was pushing me from the back, and I was being taken towards, I felt like I was in Pompeii in a square, and there was a high altar, and I was being taken towards that, and then I saw Papak sitting on it, on the altar, on a chair. Said I was being taken to Papak. So then that was very clear to me that I didn't have to bother about the Gurdjieff system or any other system anymore, and not look for anything else, because there where I was being taken by the three men that I respect very much, who were teaching me and bringing me up spiritually. They were taking me to Papak. So that was a great experience to me. The second one was when I went on pilgrimage to Mecca. It was one day before the Eid al-Adha. All the pilgrims gather on Mount Arafat, as it is called, where it is believed that Adam and Eve met first. It's about 15 miles to the east of Mecca. And there, when we finish those 24 hours, when all the pilgrims have to be there on that day, on the eve of the Eid al-Adha, we go up the mount, and everybody prays, does 2 rakats of prayer, to ask God whether his pilgrimage has been accepted. You see, to receive whether his pilgrimage has been accepted by God. And where I waited a bit so that everybody goes away, and I stayed on the mount towards sunset. And when I started praying, I went into latihan. I was 1 year in Subud already. This was in July 58, July 1958. And when I was doing my prayers and I went into latihan, I saw that I was being taken to a room. And before going there, I had met a dervish from Aleppo, a sort of an attracted man, who had completely given himself to religion, but he was a sort of half attracted. Attracted, we call them attracted, majzub, which means that he's attracted by the love of God, and he doesn't know what he's doing. He's a bit, people who see him consider that he's something like a lunatic maybe, but in himself he's surrendered completely, but his actions out to other people seem to be a bit strange. And when I was being and I thought about that man, because people had said that he's very strange and he wouldn't stand for more than 2 minutes with anybody, he wouldn't talk with anybody. And when he met me, he stayed with me for 3 days. And everybody was surprised why he was taking me around and he was with me all the time. When I was being taken to this room, I saw that man coming out. You see, that attracted Dervish. But when I went into the room, there was a sort of a lobby where people were waiting. And I felt that the Prophet was in that room. And when I went to the Prophet's room's door, I saw Papak opening the door to me, to meet the Prophet, you see. So that was enough proof to me that Papak had the keys to the Prophet. And wherever one went, whether it's Mecca